The line, a contentious mirrored linear megacity that is a part of Saudi Arabia's most ambitious project Neom City, has officially started construction. A recent video that surfaced on social media shows numerous excavators digging a wide linear trench in the vast desert in the nation's northwest, where foundations for the city, which is expected to be 100 miles long, are expected to be built when the project was initially a concept. The disclosure, hundreds of vehicles and machines are seen laboring in the middle of the desert to prepare the site for building, in footage shot from a drone above a portion of the enormous construction site. According to previously published graphics, the line will be 170 kilometers long, 500 meters high, and 200 meters wide. However, if you pay great attention to the construction video, the breadth of the trench that is being dug does not appear to meet the intended parameters. Images from a few months ago show massive rivers and waterfalls in park regions. Within this enormous building are sports centers, residences, and businesses. Given that the trench in the drone footage is significantly less than the 200 meters that it represents, roughly the size of 2 American football fields, and that the line itself should ideally be 3 times as large, there is some reason to think that this excavation might just be temporary. Preparations are being made for the construction of an underground high-speed transportation system that will run the entire length of the city. The line is arguably the most dramatic project currently being undertaken in architecture and construction. It has been designed to accommodate 9 million people and will be taller than the Empire State Building with a massive, elegant mirror glass facade. Artificial intelligence will help the city function solely on renewable energy, without the need for any roads, automobiles, or carbon emissions, making it completely sustainable. According to proposals, the line is designed as a series of unique communities that will be organized in 3 dimensions of movement up, down, or across, which is a concept known as zero-gravity urbanism. However, many design experts believe that the technology for such a city doesn't yet exist, despite the flashy announcement made by Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The 3 layers consist of a subterranean transportation spine for ultra-high speed transit, a lower surface layer with parks and open spaces, and a pedestrian layer with plenty of parks and open spaces. According to the proposal, all daily services would be accessible by foot within 5 minutes of each line node, while high-speed transit trips between nodes would only take 20 minutes. The line would need larger nodes that could hold more people, and if there aren't enough people at every stop, it would be impossible to sustain this infrastructure economically. It's also unclear whether the technology for the line's transit system exists, but traveling 100 miles in 20 minutes would require a speed of 318 miles per hour, which outperforms existing high-speed rail. The Hyperloop technology being developed by Elon Musk could theoretically manage the journey, but even that technology is still at least a decade away from us. Before we continue, if you would like to learn more about billion-dollar construction projects around the world, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more interest. Eurostar trains in Europe travel at about 199 miles per hour, and some of China's high-speed rail trains reached speeds of 236 miles per hour. The area is a part of the Red Sea coastline, which has long been one of Saudi Arabia's most neglected territories. Several towns existed, people who are part of a nomadic tribe, known as the whole weight thing. Some see this project as the most expensive publicity stunt in history, intended to divert the world from a harsh truth. Just the proverbial tip of the iceberg, the desert climate of Saudi Arabia is characterized by one character in particular: extreme heat. To combat this, the mirrors on the outside of the skyscrapers were reflected away from the buildings inside the line. Given how enormous they would need to be, areas where the sun is reflected off the mirrors would double in temperature, and any objects nearby would possibly melt. Environmental planning experts also criticize the construction of such structures. The line is so large that it would be impossible to construct a 500-meter building using low-carbon materials, and even though it runs on 100 renewable resources and emits no greenhouse gases. Several wild animals will be relocated, and the dynamics of groundwater flow will be impacted. Despite this, the line's construction would result in the production of more than $1.8 billion. Saudi Arabia will have to overcome obstacles related to technical and financial feasibility that are both domestic and foreign. The main economic difficulty Saudi Arabia has is its inability to successfully entice financial support and investment from international governments and businesses. The fact that many Western nations and businesses boycott the monarchy and its products because of histories of human rights crimes Although the original goal was to finish construction by 2030 with an allocated budget of $500 billion, according to some sources, the city might not be finished until 2050, which would greatly raise expenditures. It is estimated that the entire project, including the railway, will cost the kingdom $1 trillion. The Public Investment Fund is used to pay for the project. Safer conversations with a few international corporations, particularly Russian ones, the kingdom's sovereign wealth private investment fund. The Public Investment Fund's financial viability is heavily dependent on the kingdom's oil exports, a market that has become unstable in recent years in a nation where about 60% of its financial resources came from oil. So financing of this megaproject is likely to experience ups and downs. The project also calls for overcoming technological challenges that Saudi Arabia cannot overcome. To avoid joining the long list of Gulf cities that remain unfinished, such as King Abdullah Economic City on Metropolis and Port, which required a $10 billion investment, but only housed 10,000 people after 10 years, and the now abandoned waterfront project in Dubai. This city must adhere to advanced technologies in urban design that will draw investors and future residents. Thank you for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video. Please comment below with your opinions on this mega project.